In a chilling incident from Kericho County, Kenya, a 46-year-old man's actions have left the community in utter shock and disbelief. This unsettling story begins with a domestic dispute that spiraled out of control, culminating in an act of brutality that has gripped the region. The man, following a heated argument and physical altercation with his wife, resorted to the unthinkable. In a gruesome twist, he fatally stabbed her. But the horror didn't end there. In an almost surreal turn of events, he placed his wife's lifeless body in the passenger seat of his car and drove to Capsoit Trading Center. At the trading center, the man attempted to drown his actions in alcohol, engaging in a drinking spree while his wife's body lay in the car just outside. This macabre scene was not discovered until revelers noticed bloodstains on the man's t-shirt and demanded answers. Their investigation led to the grim discovery of the woman's body in the car, revealing injuries to her head, mouth, and eyes, a testament to the ferocity of the crime. The police swiftly arrested the man upon being alerted by the concerned revelers. Belgut Sub-County Police Commander Charles Kabati confirmed the details of the incident, noting that the suspect had confessed to engaging in a fatal altercation with his wife. This harrowing event has not only stunned the local community but also raised serious questions about the underlying issues in society that lead to such tragic outcomes. Kericho County, located in the highlands west of Kenya's Great Rift Valley, is known for its vast tea plantations and scenic landscapes. This serene backdrop, however, stands in stark contrast to the grim story we're unfolding. In this seemingly peaceful setting, a domestic dispute in a family home escalated into a tragedy that has shocked the local community. The central figures in this story are a 46-year-old man and his wife, residents of this region. Not much is publicly known about their personal lives or history, but the incident that transpired gives a glimpse into a troubled relationship. The dynamics of their altercation, which led to the tragic outcome, suggest underlying issues that went far beyond the day's events. Kericho, while picturesque and tranquil, is not immune to the societal challenges that plague many communities, including domestic disputes and violence. This incident serves as a harsh reminder of the potential for underlying tensions within households to erupt into serious, even fatal, confrontations. As we delve deeper into this story, it's important to consider the broader context of the incident, not only the specifics of the crime but also the societal and community aspects that frame such events. The shocking nature of the crime, set against the backdrop of Kericho's natural beauty, creates a disturbing contrast that raises questions about the hidden struggles within its communities. The tranquility of Kericho County was shattered by an incident that unfolded within the walls of a seemingly ordinary household. The story begins on a day like any other, but what transpired would leave a permanent scar on the community. The incident was sparked by a domestic dispute between a 46-year-old man and his wife. What began as an argument quickly escalated into a physical confrontation, a dangerous spiral that pushed the boundaries of a marital disagreement into a life-threatening situation. According to reports, the altercation took a violent turn when the wife, in the heat of the moment, grabbed a knife. This action set off a chain of events that would have fatal consequences. Her husband, in a claimed act of self-defense, dodged her attack and retaliated. The dispute reached its tragic climax when he grabbed the knife and turned it on her, stabbing her to death. This violent act marked a shocking transition from a domestic quarrel to a criminal act, crossing a line that can never be uncrossed. The gravity of the situation was further compounded by the husband's subsequent actions. In a disturbing postscript to the crime, he placed his wife's lifeless body in the passenger seat of his car and drove to a nearby trading center. This act of transporting his deceased wife's body and going on a drinking spree with it in the car illustrates a chilling disregard for the sanctity of life. The sheer audacity and macabre nature of his actions following the murder add a layer of horror to an already tragic event. As the reality of the situation came to light, the community reeled in disbelief. The brutality of the crime, the disregard for human life, and the bizarre aftermath paint a picture of a deeply troubled individual and a tragic sequence of events that led to an irreversible outcome. In the aftermath of the harrowing crime in Kericho, the perpetrator's actions took a turn that added a macabre dimension to an already tragic story. The man, having taken the life of his wife in a violent altercation, made a decision that would leave the community and later the world in disbelief. Instead of calling for help or turning himself in, he embarked on a chilling post-crime spree. In a shocking display of callousness, he placed the lifeless body of his wife in the passenger seat of his car. But his unthinkable actions did not stop there. He then drove to the Capsoit Trading Center, a local spot known for its social gatherings and nightlife. At the trading center, the man immersed himself in a drinking spree, engaging in revelry while the body of his wife sat in his car, parked just outside. This bizarre juxtaposition of a festive atmosphere against the grim reality resting in his vehicle paints a surreal and disturbing picture. As he drank, the other revelers became suspicious. They noticed bloodstains on his clothes, a harrowing hint at the gruesome act he had just committed. Their suspicions eventually led them to confront him, demanding to know what had transpired. This confrontation would ultimately lead to the discovery of his wife's body in the car, revealing the full extent of the horror to the community. The man's ability to partake in social drinking in such close proximity to the scene of his crime speaks to a deeply unsettling state of mind. It raises many questions about his motives and mental state during these moments. This part of the story, with its striking contrast between normalcy and horror, adds an eerie and unforgettable chapter to an already tragic event. The reaction of the community, upon discovering the truth, was one of shock and horror. The incident at the Capsoit Trading Center will long be remembered as a grim reminder of the depths of human capability for violence and detachment. The unsettling chain of events in Kericho took a crucial turn when the local community, gathered at the Capsoit Trading Center, began to sense that something was amiss. The man, who had been indulging in a drinking spree, unwittingly drew attention to himself, not through his actions, but through a disturbing detail that he had overlooked: bloodstains on his t-shirt. This unsettling sight raised alarm among the other revelers, sparking a wave of suspicion and concern. Their instincts compelled them to confront him, demanding an explanation for the ominous bloodstains. The man's evasive responses only fueled their suspicions, leading them to insist on inspecting his car. What they discovered in the vehicle was beyond their worst imaginings: the lifeless body of a woman who was later identified as his wife. The body bore visible injuries to the head, mouth, and eyes, silently testifying to the brutality of the crime. The revelation of this grim discovery sent shockwaves through the community. The locals, who had been enjoying a typical evening, found themselves face to face with a horror that was difficult to comprehend. The immediate reaction was one of disbelief and horror, followed by a swift response as they reported the incident to the Capsoit police station. The community's reaction to this grotesque turn of events was a mix of shock, anger, and profound sadness. The fact that such a heinous act could occur in their midst, and be followed by such cold and bizarre behavior by the perpetrator, left many feeling unsettled and deeply troubled. This incident not only rattled the local community, but also raised serious questions about the nature of violence and the hidden struggles within seemingly normal relationships. It served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating impact of domestic violence, leaving a lasting impression on the residents of Kericho and beyond. In the wake of the shocking discovery at Capsoit Trading Center, the local community acted swiftly, their immediate concern shifting to ensuring justice and safety. The concerned revelers, having discovered the lifeless body of the woman in the car, wasted no time in reporting the incident to the Capsoit police station. This prompt action set into motion the law enforcement response that would bring this disturbing episode to a close. Upon receiving the report, officers from the Capsoit police station quickly mobilized and rushed to the scene. The police, faced with the gruesome reality of the crime, acted with urgency. Belgut Sub-County Police Commander Charles Kabati took charge of the situation, overseeing the initial investigations and the arrest of the suspect. The man, still at the trading center, was apprehended by the police. His arrest marked the end of a series of events that had rapidly spiraled from a domestic dispute to a public spectacle of a crime. During the interrogation, the suspect reportedly confessed to engaging in an altercation with his wife that turned fatal. This confession was a crucial piece in understanding the events that led to the tragic outcome. The police's swift response and the subsequent arrest of the suspect were critical in maintaining public order and trust in the wake of such a shocking crime. Their handling of the situation demonstrated a commitment to upholding the law and ensuring that justice was served. This incident, while closed with the arrest of the suspect, left many questions unanswered. The police involvement in this case highlighted the challenges law enforcement faces in dealing with domestic disputes that escalate into violence, as well as the broader societal issues that underpin such tragic events. Following the arrest of the suspect in the Kericho case, the focus shifted to the legal proceedings that would determine the course of justice. In the aftermath of such a heinous crime, the legal system's role became paramount in delivering a resolution and, potentially, a sense of closure to the community. Initially, the suspect was taken into custody by the police, where he reportedly confessed to the crime. This confession was a significant development, as it provided the authorities with crucial information about the events leading up to the murder. However, details about specific charges filed against the suspect, or the exact nature of the legal proceedings that followed, are not fully disclosed in the available reports. It's common in such cases for charges to include murder or manslaughter, depending on the circumstances and evidence presented during the investigation. The legal process would likely involve a detailed examination of the events, the suspect's motives, and the context in which the crime was committed. Statements from law enforcement, particularly from Belgut Sub-County Police Commander Charles Kabati, who confirmed the incident and the suspect's arrest, provided the public with official information on the case. However, further details about the court proceedings, including the suspect's plea, the defense's argument, and the prosecution's case, are typically part of the judicial process and may not be immediately available to the public. The legal proceedings in this case will be closely watched, as they not only seek to deliver justice for the heinous act committed but also serve as a crucial element in addressing the broader issues of domestic violence and crime within the community. The outcome of the court's decision will undoubtedly have a lasting impact, not only on the individuals directly involved but also on the societal understanding and response to such tragic incidents. The tragic incident in Kericho, where a man killed his wife and subsequently engaged in a public display of indifference by going on a drinking spree with her body in his car, has left an indelible mark on the local community. The events have reverberated through the streets of Kericho, affecting residents, community leaders, and local journalists alike. Residents of Kericho, a community known for its serene landscapes and tea plantations, have been deeply shaken by this event. The contrast between their typically peaceful lives and the brutal nature of this crime has been a source of great distress. Interviews with locals would likely reveal a sense of disbelief and a struggle to reconcile the peaceful nature of their community with the violence that occurred. Community leaders, tasked with maintaining social cohesion and public morale, face the challenge of addressing the underlying issues that led to such a tragedy. They might speak about the need for increased awareness and prevention of domestic violence, the importance of mental health support, and the role of community solidarity in healing and moving forward. Local journalists, who have covered the incident, provide a broader perspective on its impact. Their reports likely delve into the societal implications of the crime, exploring themes such as the prevalence of domestic violence, the community's response to such incidents, and the need for more robust support systems for families in crisis. This incident has undoubtedly sparked conversations about safety, trust, and the hidden struggles within families. It serves as a grim reminder of the potential for violence that can lurk beneath the surface of any community. As Kericho grapples with the aftermath of this crime, there is a collective sense of mourning, reflection, and a renewed commitment to preventing such tragedies in the future. In sum, the impact of this crime on the Kericho community extends far beyond the immediate horror of the incident. It has initiated a deeper examination of social issues and has brought to light the essential need for community engagement, support, and vigilance in addressing and preventing domestic violence. As we come to the end of this harrowing tale from Kericho, it's important to reflect on the key points and the broader implications of such a tragic event. This story began with a domestic dispute between a husband and wife, escalating into a violent altercation that led to the wife's untimely death. The aftermath of this crime was marked by the husband's chilling actions, displaying a shocking disregard for human dignity and life. This incident is a stark reminder of the devastating impact of domestic violence. It brings to light the often hidden struggles within households that can escalate into fatal outcomes. The community of Kericho, known for its tranquility, was thrust into the spotlight, revealing that no community is immune to the scourge of domestic violence. As we grapple with the details of this case, it's essential to acknowledge the broader issues at play. Domestic violence remains a pervasive issue globally, often occurring behind closed doors and leaving lasting scars on individuals, families, and communities. This incident in Kericho underscores the need for increased awareness, prevention, and support for those affected by domestic violence. In conclusion, this story is a somber reminder of the complexities and dangers of domestic disputes and the importance of addressing these issues proactively. It highlights the need for community vigilance, support for victims, and a strong stance against all forms of domestic violence. Now, I turn to you, my viewers. This story is not just a narrative, it's a call to action. We must work together to raise awareness about domestic violence, support those in need, and foster a community that does not shy away from addressing these critical issues. If you have thoughts or experiences to share, please do so in the comments below. Let's engage in a constructive dialogue to bring about positive change. And if you find value in content that delves into important social issues and stories that need to be told, consider subscribing and following for more insightful content. Together, we can make a difference in shedding light on stories that matter and contributing to a safer, more understanding world.